Hey, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Dr. Jay Harness. And I'm your host, Jay Harness. And I so much enjoy doing these conversations, and I've got a uniquely special guest with us today. Kelly Rovetto is a breast cancer survivor. She's got a really powerful story about her cancer. And she's also the founder of Re-Femme, which is a digital platform created to support women navigating any type of cancer. After experiencing firsthand how overwhelming treatment and recovery can be, Kelly built her website to help women feel less alone and more empowered through every stage of their cancer journey. She is an avid exerciser and wellness advocate who understands the vital role of movement and nutrition, healing, building strength and confidence. And she and I also share a common bond since she has spent over a decade in medical device sales, specializing in breast reconstruction following breast cancer surgery. Kelly, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Harness. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's just truly my pleasure to have you with me today. Your story about your cancer is really important, Kelly. You had stage 2
Mhm.
triple positive breast cancer, which means not only the primary cancer in your breast, your lymph nodes were positive, you were estrogen, progesterone, and HER2 new positive, which means that you would normally get neoadjuvant chemotherapy. And I believe you've shared with me that's exactly what happened with you, correct?
That's correct. I had 6 treatments of TCHP over the course of 18 weeks, 3-week intervals in between. And then I had mastectomy and breast reconstruction. I went direct to implant, and currently I'm on immunotherapy and taking tamoxifen.
So let's talk about your exercise history because this is really important. Pre-diagnosis, were you somebody who exercised regularly?
Constantly. It's
Oh,
really one of the pillars of my whole existence, really. Exercise has always been extremely important to me. It keeps me healthy, it keeps me fit, and I enjoy doing it. I have some girlfriends that are like, I can't get off the couch, I don't want to go to the gym. To me, it is such an outlet. It just makes me feel so good. So I thoroughly enjoy exercise and always did prior to my diagnosis.
sure. And that's really important because we know right out the door, you have between something like 16 to 18% improved survival based on that antecedent history of your exercising.
I started exercising when I got sober. So in April, I'll have 14 years of continuous sobriety from alcohol. And so when I
Wow.
went into sobriety, when I started my sober journey, I needed to find something to help with all of these emotions that I was starting to feel, that alcohol really masked for me for a very long time. And so that's really where my exercise journey initiated.
Wow. What a powerful story. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how old, if I may ask,
Yes, of
how
course.
old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed last February and I was 45 years old.
There you go. And as you and I have discussed, you were gene tested and you are gene tested negative, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So this is what a fascinating story because we do know that that level of alcohol consumption is an increased risk factor for
Hmm.
breast cancer. And here you are, a living example of that. One of
Hmm.
the things you and I discussed before we turned the camera on was the fact that you are exercising regularly through your neoadjuvant chemotherapy. And there is data out there that shows that can actually boost the complete pathologic response of your cancer totally disappearing from both your breast and lymph nodes
Hmm.
by adding that additional exercise. And I think you shared with me that that's exactly what happened to you, correct?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
definitely is.
Yes,
That's
ma'am. And you are just an absolute living example of everything we're talking about here.
hmm
Well, tell us how you came up with the title for your website, because I think this is really an important story.
So My website, and I like to call it just it's a really a place, uh, a space for women who are diagnosed with any type of cancer to come. So it is an online platform and it's called Re-Femme. And the reason why I named it Re-Femme was because cancer took so much of my sense of femininity and my sense of identity. Chemo took my hair, my lashes, surgery took my breasts. And I've talked to several survivors and women who are going through treatment who have ovarian and cervical cancer, and so those surgeries, obviously hysterectomies and things of that nature, take what we consider to, to designate us as female or as women. And the women that I've talked to on this journey and my own journey, I can speak for my own personal journey. I lost a lot of my sense of femininity and sense of identity. And so Refem was truly born out of me trying to solve my own problem. I got tremendous support from my medical team. And I learned about my diagnosis and I learned about the side effects and exactly what my diagnosis was. But where I felt a gap was beyond the clinic walls. So I would leave the hospital, I would get home, and I would, first of all, wouldn't remember anything you were telling me because I just, when you're faced with your own mortality, when I was faced with my own mortality and the diagnosis of cancer, everything else like fell by the wayside. And all I could think about was cancer, cancer, cancer. And for me, I had two questions for my medical oncologist in that first appointment. One was, am I going to die? And two was, what's going to happen to my lashes? What's going to happen to my hair? What about my eyebrows? Am I going to be able to work out? If I'm able to work out, how am I going to do that? Do I need to change my nutrition? So there were all these non-medical components to what makes me feel like a woman, right? And although I received support, it wasn't the support that I expected and honestly that I deserved, right? And I didn't I didn't blame my medical team. Their job is to keep me alive, right? And to educate me. But I came home from those appointments, Jay, and I would get on the internet and I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go find, there's got to be a one place for me to go to get the products that I need for this journey, to find out information like how do you submit your first claim if you decide to cold cap or you decide to buy a wig. What are the questions I need to be asking as my appointments progress? Like what types of questions am I supposed to be asking? There were all these things that they're out there on the internet. I'm not saying that they're not, but they're fragmented. So it took me hours trying to find all kinds
There
of
you go.
things.
Yep.
So that is truly Refem, which is, like I said, in answer to your original question, I came up with that name because I wanted to restore my femininity. And I knew if I was struggling from this problem of not being supported from a non-medical standpoint, that other women were too. And that had been confirmed because I did numerous surveys to women who were in active cancer journeys and women who were survivors. And it is definitely something that we didn't particularly feel held in that component
Yeah.
of the journey.
Yeah. Oh, this is a absolutely spectacular story, Kelly. I mean, it really is. The last 35 years of my 47 years of practice, I was strictly focused on breast cancer. And when I think about the thousands of patients that I interacted with, I tried to fill in some of those gaps.
Mhm.
But your approach to this is really spot on. I'm curious about something. Did they encourage you to exercise, your medical oncologist?
Well, a lot of my medical team, it's funny. I think I'm an anomaly because of the profession that I'm in. So I'm in a profession that sells the tissue expanders and the breast implants and the acellular dermal matrix
Right.
to the plastic surgeons in the hospitals who perform these surgeries or where the surgeries are performed. So they all knew me very well. They knew I was extremely active. So definitely that was a part of the discussion. Yes, it was a part of the discussion, but one that they didn't really need to spend a lot of time on because they knew how
Sure.
active I was. And so that's important for anyone listening who was an exercise enthusiast prior to diagnosis. There's this myth out there. You hear chemo and you think, I won't be able to exercise. I
Right.
won't be able to stay active because I'm going to be so fatigued and so,
Right.
dealing with all of these negative side effects, right? And I have to bust that myth because I'm a primary example um, of really continuing my entire life. As I was walking through chemo, I was exercising,
Yep. No, and the data is there. I mean, huge amount of data there that show that you are able to maintain the dose level that had been recommended for you. Of course, you feel crappy a couple of days after
Oh, yes,
the
yes. And
therapy,
rest
but
is
you,
important.
yeah, but the important thing is after those couple of initial days of recovery is get your tush off the sofa and really get moving. Now, Kelly, how do people find Re-Femme?
So Re-Femme is a free online platform. They can find it at www.joinrefemme.com. So that's JOINREFEMME.com. And truly, what it is think of there's several components to it. The first is think of a baby or a wedding registry. So it's a list of products that are categorized by each component of a woman's cancer journey, from chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and beyond, right? It's also a platform that allows women to put on their registries practical gifts for what they need, right? So when I first got diagnosed, Jay, I had friends and family ask me one question: how can we help you? What
Yeah.
can we do? Well, I did not know what I needed until I needed it. So it really allows women who are diagnosed with cancer to come onto the platform and be able to add an Uber Eats gift card to their registry, right? Or
Okay.
after mastectomy, adding a laundry service gift card where a service will come and pick up your laundry, do it for you, and bring it back. So very practical, amazing, I think, gifts in the facet of the registry component. Real thing that I'm truly excited about, and that's why I think it's such a godsend that we're talking today, because tomorrow I am launching the Re-Femme Restore Network. And we're launching tomorrow with 3 piloted partners. And it's going to be virtual support to help these women in regards to wigs, if women want to find wigs, wig curation, customized fitting. We have makeup lessons for women who are um, concerned about how to for me, this was the biggest thing. How do I put on fake lashes once my eyelashes fall out? And then we have virtual nutrition and fitness guidance. So it's a great platform to help women feel even more held and supported on this journey from a non-medical standpoint. And that was my whole goal. My whole goal was to help one woman feel less exhausted and less isolated to make for an easier and softer journey. So tomorrow is the big
Wow.
day. Yeah,
Wow.
tomorrow's the big day.
Oh, well, congratulations. Well, as we wrap this up, Kelly, you are one of my heroes.
Oh, thank you
You,
so
you,
much.
you really are. I mean, your journey is so inspiring to people. You've lived it, you've walked it, and it's just been a spectacular discussion with you today. I just cannot thank you enough. I obviously want to encourage everyone to visit your website. I also want to encourage people to visit us at cancerfitness.org. We'll have Kelly's interview posted there. We have other resources of our own there, what includes videos and written blogs, and what have you.